Hello, my name is Ripley. Welcome to the video.
What's up, schmucks? How are you today? I'm feeling both anxiety and anger, and today we're going to discuss the latter. But before that, this video is brought to you by the G-Words Podcast, except it's not. The G-Words Podcast is the podcast I do with my YouTuber friends where we discuss all manner of things from video games.
Yeah, and again, the devs basically told you to go fuck yourself, by the way, too. Because instead of fixing the game, their solution to the game-breaking bug where my friend had to go and restart the whole chapter to fix it was the solution. They told you just to go restart the entire chapter again.
So yeah, the devs were like, hey, go fuck yourself. Figure it out yourself.
They literally told you to go fuck yourself.
That's fucked. It's horrible. Two really fucked up things. Next one. Would you rather faint during sex and wake up to the other person screaming at their mom to come and help? Or have someone's dog sneak up on you during sex and it starts licking your ass and your balls?
The first one, bro. That'd be so funny.
You don't want their dog to lick your balls?
No, bro. I'm not into that kind of shit. The first one, dude. Imagine that. That'd be fucking hilarious.
So if that interests you, links are down below. All right. Ridley!
Yes.
Start the video.
Say please.
Ridley.
Say it.
Ridley, can you please start the video?
Yes. I'll start the video. Thank you for asking nicely.
Within the last week, there's been a lot of news surrounding the MCU Spider-Man 3, including that of Jamie Foxx playing Electro again, and Doctor Strange being in it as a mentor figure. Now, obviously, both of these announcements raise a few red flags, but then we have the copious amounts of rumors flying around that, for sure, are just rumors, but at this point, who knows what could end up being confirmed. Rumors of Miles Morales being introduced in the movie, Venom showing up, Dane DeHaan back as Harry Osborn, Kirsten Dunst back as Mary Jane, and the biggest rumor of all being that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are going to return as their own respective Spider-Men. Fun fact, I hate literally all of this.
Turkey, stop being hateful, you prick.
Shut up, Ridley. I'll uninstall you.
Good luck.
I know the vibe I give off in all of my videos is that I hate everything and I hate movies because I'm always negative about everything, but this really gargles my grundle in the worst of ways. So today, I want to explain why, if handled poorly, Electro and Doctor Strange could ruin Spider-Man 3, and if these rumors are true, they could make this the worst MCU movie as of yet. So let me start with complaining with what is confirmed. Electro and Doctor Strange. At face value, Electro being the villain isn't a bad thing. I actually quite like Electro, and I think Jamie Foxx definitely deserves another shot at this role. He's a really good actor. No one's gonna doubt that. But he did get done pretty dirty in Amazing Spider-Man 2. But the thing that really makes me go, is that so far in the MCU, John Watts and his team have only been giving us Spider-Man villains we've never seen before in live action. Vulture, Shocker, Tinkerer, Scorpion, Mysterio, Molten Man, Hydro Man. They had never been seen before in live action. But Electro has, and not only have we seen Electro before, but they're bringing back the same actor to play him again, and that catches my attention given their track record with their villains. Aside from Batman, Spider-Man has the best rogues gallery in all of comic books. I don't think a lot of people would argue with that. There are a plethora of never-before-seen Spider-Man villains we could have gotten in this movie, such as Chameleon, Kraven, Alistair Smythe, Tombstone, Hobgoblin, Silvermane, Silver Sable, Hammerhead, or one of my personal favorites, Swarm. Actually, while we're on this topic, Swarm would work really well in the MCU. In the comics, he's like Million Ants from Rick and Morty around a skeleton, but in the MCU, he could be a guy using the Hank Pym tech to control wasps and shit, or he could use like little robot wasps like that episode of Black Mirror. I don't know, I think that'd be cool. All right, back on track. Spider-Man's road gallery is immense and full of interesting villains just waiting for a debut in live action, and John Watts and his crew understood that, and they were committed to bringing us villains we hadn't seen before and doing them justice. So them now deciding to bring back Electro and the same actor to play him definitely raises some red flags in my mind. It's just bizarre to me that instead of bringing in the assassin characters from the Spider-Man mythos, for a movie that should feature Spider-Man on the run, they're bringing in career criminal Max Dillon. It just seems kind of stupid. As for Dr. Stephen Strange, his involvement worries me on 4 distinct fronts. Firstly, Spider-Man doesn't need a mentor anymore. We've seen him become his own hero twice now. Are we really gonna see that shit again? It's unnecessary. Spider-Man and Strange teaming up is one thing, but Strange doesn't need to mentor Peter. Peter's beyond that at this point. Secondly, does Doctor Strange's involvement already nullify Far From Home's cliffhanger? I'm gonna talk more about this later, but if Strange is involved, then the writing team is gonna have to pull some serious gymnastics to keep Strange from solving that identity crisis with a snap of his fingers. Thirdly, and building off my second point, if Strange is involved, then he can't be super involved with the Spider-Man Electro conflict, because Doctor Strange would lay out Electro in like 2 seconds. And my fourth concern with Doctor Strange is the risk of the MCU Spider-Man 3 becoming a Spider-Verse movie. And this actually brings us nicely into the next segment called Let's address the big thing. Andrew and Tobey potentially coming back as their respective Spider-Men. No, thank you. MCU Spider-Man 3 is not the movie where we should be seeing these two show up for no reason at all. Also, why? Why are you all screaming for this to happen? One of people's biggest complaints about Homecoming and Far From Home was how Spider-Man wasn't enough of a loner, and how he was depending on others way too much. But now, we hear that this third one is going to be bloated as shit, and you start having an orgasm. That doesn't add up. Spider-Man Far From Home ended with Peter's identity being revealed to the world, alongside with him being pinned as a terrorist. The logical step forward would be a very personal story about Peter Parker on the run while trying to clear his name, like The Fugitive, but with Spider-Man. We could have gotten a bunch of assassins after Peter and watch him take them all down one after the other, like John Wick, but with Spider-Man, Kraven the Hunter, Taskmaster, Batroc the Leaper, Black Widows, the Punisher, whoever the fuck could all be hunting him down. That would have been amazing. But instead, if these rumors are to be believed, we'll have to see Doctor Strange open a fucking portal for some reason and have Tobey and Andrew's Spider-Man in the MCU for no reason at all. Why? Why would you do this? I can't imagine someone sitting down at a meeting with Kevin Feige and thinking this is a good idea. We could have gotten a new, fresh, and interesting Spider-Man movie, but no, Spider-Verse was good, so let's ride that train until it has no more fuel in it. Fuck it. Oh, you cunts like Miles Morales? We'll put him in the movie too. Oh, hey there, Sony, you feel left out because you make bad movies all the time? Come on, throw Venom in here. Woo! And while we're at it, since we really want to be assholes, let's just fucking bring back Dane DeHaan and Kirsten Dunst, because that makes sense. I hate this. What logical reason is there to do a live-action Spider-Verse movie anyway? The animated one is a masterclass of film, and it proves that a wacky story like that is best suited for beautiful animation with little to nothing holding it back. Because in that movie, it was 6 distinct and unique versions of Spider-Man, but in the live-action version, there would be 3 Peter Parkers who are all mostly the same. Wow, how interesting. What an amazing idea.
This is sarcasm. You are all idiots.
Thanks, Ridley. I really enjoy the MCU Spider-Man movies. I defend them against all haters because I genuinely think they're some of the best the MCU has to offer. But if this Spider-Verse bullshit is true, and they squander what could have been the most interesting Spider-Man movie in exchange for fan service the film, this could be the worst MCU movie and the worst Spider-Man movie, just based off wasted potential alone. Now, it would be pretty bleak of me to say that this will be the worst movie ever made and not offer an optimistic outlook, so here are some ways that Spider-Man Home Something can be spared from these terrible story decisions. Step 1. A new Electro. Make sure this is a new Electro, a Max Dillon specific to the MCU, not tied to The Amazing Spider-Man 2 in any way, shape, or form. Also, give him a good design this time. Please and thank you. Step 2. Use Doctor Strange sparingly. Like I mentioned earlier, Doctor Strange would lay out Electro instantly, and he could also solve Peter's identity crisis in an hour. So to avoid bullshit writing for this, the best bet is to just use Strange sparingly. The hardest part about having a super OP character like Strange in your universe is that it's hard to pair him with other characters where he doesn't just solve their problems immediately. So he needs to be used smartly. Maybe Strange offers help to Peter, but Peter rejects it because he feels a need to prove himself and prove his innocence on his own. Step 3. Don't do a fucking Spider-Verse. Maybe I'm biased because I don't fondly remember the Raimi trilogy and I passionately hate the Amazing Spider-Man duology. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me to end Far From Home with Peter getting fucked by Mysterio and then follow that up with Spider-Verse. Like, that's actually retarded. I would love to see these guys show up in the animated Spider-Verse, but personally, I don't want to see a live-action one. I just think it's unnecessary. Step 4. Miles and Venom are okay, actually. Miles Morales only became an interesting character character as of recently, and he's popping off, so it would make total sense for him to come to the MCU. But probably best as an end credit scene. As for Venom, seeing Venom hunt down Spider-Man to get on the world's good side, or even team up with him against Electro, could be really cool to see, and I actually really like the Venom movie. I think it's dumb as shit, but I like it. It's actually a perfect date night movie, trust me. Step 5. Let Jon Watts do his thing. Whether you want to admit it or not, Jon Watts is a super talented director. He makes these Spider-Man movies with a great eye for detail and unique storytelling for superhero movies. I know that's a controversial opinion, but hey, that's what I do here. Ultimately, I feel that the next MCU Spider-Man movie should be a direct continuation from Far From Home that tells a unique and personal story to this Peter Parker, cramming in Spider-Verse, Miles Morales introductions, Venom connections, and whatever else is just a really stupid idea that could bog down one of the most interesting Spider-Man movies we've ever seen. Everything is in place for a Spidey on the run movie, and if Marvel deprives us of that in favor of 2 hours of shitty fan service, then this really could be the worst MCU movie so far.
This concludes the video.